done for. Everyone get out.
Greetings sailors and welcome to my part in the World of Warships launch event. That's right, to celebrate World of Warships officially coming out of open beta, Wargaming are throwing a kind of a party, really, we could say. Well, I could say. I have said it. It's said now. Let's move on. Basically, a bunch of the community contributors have been given various things to give away, and QB's had a stream yesterday, as of this video going out. Circon's got a stream tomorrow. I know Jingles is doing a contest, and so am I. So, what does this contest entail, and what are the prizes? We'll do the prizes first, because the first prize is going to be one that is quite in demand, I expect. It is, in fact, the Mighty Tirpitz. Now, I did hope that I would have some of the Tier 5s to give away alongside the Tirpitz, but it's a bit of a drop-off, unfortunately. We go from the Tirpitz down to a Mikasa code and then 4 Dianas. So what I've decided to do is do a first and second place. First prize will be the Tirpitz, second place will be the Mikasa and a Diana, and then there will be 3 runners-up who will just get the Diana. Now, I've not played the Mikasa. It's a unique Tier 2 battleship. It doesn't have a lot of firepower. It's got very tough armour for being Tier 2, but I've heard tell it's more of a novelty than a serious ship, and it's possible to have fun games in it, but I think by far the Diana is the better ship. So that's why I'm giving a Diana with the Mikasa for the second place. Somebody out there somewhere is desperate for a Mikasa. I just know it's some collector. But as for the Diana, I can speak a little bit more about it because, as you can see, I do actually have one. It's basically a Murmansk, but a tier lower. And you might be thinking, that sounds horribly overpowered. Well, it has half the number of guns. So it's just as slow. It has 0 anti-aircraft armament. Although being a tier 2, that doesn't really matter. And although the rate of fire is slightly better than the Murmansk, because it's got half the rate of half the actual guns on the ship, I sadly can't go, it's made of guns. I mean, it kind of is. It has got a bunch of these probably 76mm secondaries. But as for the rest, well, yeah, you know what a Murmansk is. Not a Murmansk. I've been saying Murmansk the whole time, haven't I? Aurora. The Aurora. Yes. I had hoped to have a Murmansk as the second prize, or possibly a Gremiashi. Or even a Marblehead, which was the Omaha that was given away at PAX. But as far as I know, you can't get the Marblehead on the EU server. So that's the prizes. They will be available to both EU and NA folks, so that is most of my viewer base, but sadly not all. I know there's a bunch of people that watch from the Asian server as well, principally obviously Australians and New Zealanders, although there's a scattering of people across the whole region that watch my stuff. But sadly I don't have anything for you. I mean, these are the codes I've been given by Wargaming, and it's just nice for a change that they work across multiple regions. It's just not your region, sadly. So I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing I personally can do about it. So what is the contest actually going to be? Well, what I've settled on is a medal hunt. And I thought, okay, this is going to work across all tiers because the way the in-game awards work is basically independent of what tier you're at. So what I want and what the first, what the prizes will be awarded on is how many medals somebody gets in a battle, and multiple instances of the same medal do count. So if you get multiple devastating strikes, for instance, that counts. If you have, I'm trying to think what other ones you can get multiples of. There are probably others you can get multiples of, but that's the one that comes to mind. But basically, get as many medals as you can, and that will get you in the running. And like I said, I thought long and hard about how to make this independent of the tiering. I didn't want to either favour low tiers or high tiers, and I think this should be fine. The thing that I will point out is that, of course, there's the possibility somebody might have the exact same number of medals as somebody else, in which case I will be going by the base XP, not the total XP, obviously, because that can be affected by things like flags you have mounted on your ship, but the base XP. So what I will need from everybody is I will need a replay of the game, and I will need at least the first 2 score screens. And I'll actually show you from my own most recent played battle, which was, we'll go with this Tirpitz game, because I can go, hey look, I did really well on this Tirpitz game. But I basically need this score screen, which will have any awards on it, and I need the team score screen. And obviously it doesn't need to be sorted by XP, but it's kind of visually useful if it is. And this is what I need here from this, the base XP, because the personal score screen won't show the base XP. It will show you XP after everything's been added in. So those are the two that I need. I will also flash up on the screen, and there will be a link in the description below, a screenshot of a thread from the EU forums by WG staff member Brind on how to get your World of Warships client to start recording replays. You can't do it through the menu yet, unfortunately. You have to do it through editing one particular config file. It's pretty easy. You just need a text editor like Notepad, and you open it up and you literally just copy and paste what will be from that forum thread. And if you do it in the right place, then lo and behold, a replays folder will appear for this game, just as there is one for World of Tanks. So it requires a little bit of poking around, but on the other hand, once it's turned on, it's on, and you can send your great games to me. Just regardless of the contest, you'll be able to send your games to me and to other people that feature World of Warships replays. Now, the last thing to say is that I'm going to be running this for 2 weeks, and I did think about maybe having this a little bit retroactive from patch 4.1.1 coming out, but I'm going to go from patch 5.0. So basically, yesterday, as this video is going out, you'll have 2 weeks to do your best to have a game where you get lots of medals, and obviously if you're doing well with medals, you're probably going to have good XP as well. So it's going to be the person with the most medals, and if it comes down to a tie break, then the most XP. And I'm thinking this should result in some fairly entertaining games. And what I'll probably do is the first and second place winners will get separate videos, and then the 3 runners up will get a video of their games. So I'll probably have, at the end of that 2 weeks, a whole run of World of Warships videos. But if you're watching this, you're probably not going to be complaining. It's just some of my regular World of Tanks viewers might do a little bit. So I think we'll top this off with a bit of live Diana gameplay. We'll see how this thing plays. I've had a couple of battles in it already. I've got a reasonably good captain. I've actually now got this one captain that I'm swapping between my 3 premium Russian ships, because if you didn't know, premium ships in World of Warships work a little bit differently than they do in World of Tanks. It doesn't matter what class they are, it only matters about the nationality. So you can quite happily have a battleship captain in a premium cruiser. It doesn't have any negative effect whatsoever. Obviously, if you've got skills that are tailored for that battleship, they maybe are not going to be quite as useful as they are in a battleship when they're in a cruiser. But nonetheless, it's a very nice way of training up your captains. And even with a low tier ship like the Diana, you know, events like this where it's ×5, which is pretty nice, but even weekend specials or whatever, the extra XP helps, and especially if you've got flags on that give you more XP. So as you can see, it basically looks like an Aurora. I'm going to make sure I get it right from now on. It's got a bunch of guns, but it's only 4 guns per side as opposed to the 8 guns per side that the Aurora has, and the Aurora is actually very, very similar to the St. Louis. In fact, I would say the St. Louis is a little bit better than the Aurora, but the Aurora's not bad. I did actually have it in closed beta, so I played with it a bit. But this, yeah, it's not bad. It's fairly well protected, but the thing is, at the lower tiers, everyone's firing HE anyway, and you've obviously got less hit points than the St. Louis and the Aurora to work with. Although it's not that much less. I mean, this is what, 22,000. That St. Louis has got 29,000. So yeah, that's not too bad at all. So as you can see, it's slow. This might take a little while. In fact, I might end up editing bits of this video out. You'll have noticed with my replays, my viewer replays that I've put up, the first 1.5 to 2 minutes is just cut out completely, because usually that is a fairly it's fairly dead. But on the other hand, if you were starting really close to each other, the battles would be very, very short indeed. And that's actually something, a problem that War Thunder had for a while, is that they were using like arcade. They started putting arcade maps in rotation for like realistic and sim battles, and everyone was starting really close to each other, and nobody was particularly happy about it. You know, lots of action was happening very quickly, but in some cases it was a bit too quick for people. So yeah, we're chugging a bit here. Now, I might have the chance to use AP shells against targets in this. In fact, oh, there's a Chikuma who is definitely within range, but he's about to get an island between me and him. But if you get the chance to use AP shells, it will be on targets like the Chikuma. If you see St. Louis, definitely HE. I've also just noticed this is a co-op battle. I think I meant to go into just a normal random battle, but you know what? It serves my purposes fine. We'll get to see the Diana in action. Everyone that just wanted to know the contest information has just gone away by now, I expect, but yeah, if anyone has stuck around and was interested enough to see what the Diana is like, well, you're about to get some taste of it. Now, the AI actually is pretty good in World of Warships. It does seem to do a decent decent job of concentrating fire and such like. So you can't be too complacent about it. Now, we could actually potentially fire AP at this Chester. There's a pair of St. Louis's there as well, but our St. Louis is engaging those. If we take out that Chester, and then I can maybe engage the St. Louis's. Got a lot of ships here, though. Now, if I can get some AP Citadel hits, you'll get to see that, yeah, it can be pretty powerful, even at the lower tiers. But I think that was a superstructure hit, so that won't have done too much. Oh, gotta be careful of that enemy wicks. Also, I don't think the guns are too accurate, and this would be really devastating in a Murmansk, but I don't... Oh, that's an enemy Diana. Well, it would be in a Murmansk. I keep getting the Murmansk and the Aurora mixed up, and I don't know why. Reasons. Right, he's getting a bit close. We'll actually queue up AP. Your ability to dodge out of the way is a little bit limited with this, but that's the same with any slow ship at low tiers. And it's definitely true of the Mikasa. Although, like I said, I've only seen it a couple of times in battle. I've never actually played it myself. Right, these are all fairly low health. And, ooh. Oh, maybe it should be... Oh, this St. Louis is probably going down now. I maybe should be trying to jink away here, but... That's some low health ships. We could definitely take out that Diana. Ooh, yeah. I don't know why I'm killing my speed. I'm slow enough to begin with. Right, we definitely want HE. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bunch of St. Louis's firing at me. Don't think I'm going to last too much longer here. Right. Oh, that just fell short. Now, you'll see the rate of fire on this is pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. You can't go too gung-ho with it, but it's a reasonably sturdy little ship. Ah, St. Louis is low health. We should probably be focusing him. And I think so far we're actually winning. It'd be nice to actually have a victory here and showcase the Diana that way, but it's perfectly possible to get beaten by the bots in co-op mode. It's entirely, you know, if you're being incautious or you just get a bit too overconfident or whatever, they can and will spank you. And that's St. Louis being a tier higher than me. Yeah, he could be a problem. Right, that Chikuma's about to go down. And let's start spamming some HE at that St. Louis. Of course, he can spam right back at me, but he might actually be firing AP shells here. I'm not sure. Hopefully I'm reasonably protected against those. Much like the St. Louis, this is a protected cruiser, so it was slow, but it had pretty decent armor for what it was. I don't need to keep checking around me. The only enemy ship left apart from this guy is the South Carolina, but he's way in the south, facing our South Carolina. So that's fine. This is, in theory, a 3-on-1 situation, although I don't know if the Chester's in firing range yet. But yeah, just having half the number of guns is what makes this being... If you had the same number of guns as the Aurora Tier 2, that would be a bit overpowered. But yeah, I think that's a fairly decent way of balancing it. It's still a pretty nice ship otherwise. And it's a nice looking ship. It's very sturdy and Russian looking. Right, I'm rapidly running out of health here. But so is this St. Louis. And there we go. Nice cluster of hits there. I've actually got 5 guns on target at the moment. So I was thinking I could only get 4 per side, but I think one of my front guns is able to... There we go, he's about to burn out. There we go, very nice. And that's the enemy South Carolina, who's just left. And our South Carolina's got a bunch of health, so... I should be reasonably safe to come around and engage at the same time. Reasonably safe. I can't predict what the AI is going to do. I mean, you can even predict what a human player would do, but maybe the AI is programmed to go for the lower health target? I don't know. A smart player, I mean, if you're in that situation where you're in a battleship versus a battleship and a cruiser, generally speaking, what you want to do, as far as I see it, is to try and take out the cruiser, because they could potentially pose a much bigger threat just by sheer dint of the weight of firepower and their ability to set you on fire. And if they're a Japanese cruiser, or even a mid-tier American cruiser, they'll have torpedoes to worry about as well. Whereas battleships, with the lower rate of fire, yeah, they can hit you for a lot of damage, but because they fire that bit much more slowly, they can be less of a problem overall. So our South Carolina's not doing so well, but this guy's got not that much. Oh, that was a bunch of Citadel hits, I would say. There we go then. Having said this, South Carolina's not doing so well, he then just absolutely nuked that guy. So this was a co-op battle, not much XP, not many credits, but that gives you some idea of what the Diana is at least. I don't have any Mikasa gameplay to show you, and if you want to see what the Tirpitz looks like in action, there's that whole 50-minute video which you probably have already seen. I also put up a separate gameplay video of a very nice match in the Tirpitz as well, so I'll probably link those in the description below as well. So if you have any questions about the contest, and there may be things I haven't thought of, that's always possible, you can ask them below. You can check out any of the links I'll put in the description. You can hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.